For centuries, the use of forced labor has been deeply ingrained in human history, particularly in the context of colonial plantations. The exploitation of individuals for economic gain has resulted in immeasurable suffering and loss. This dark chapter in history reveals the inherent cruelty that existed within the system, as countless men, women, and children were subjected to backbreaking labor, abuse, and dehumanization. In examining the use of forced labor in colonial plantations, we confront the profound injustices that scarred the lives of countless individuals. Colonial plantations emerged as the epitome of exploitation, as European powers sought to exploit the resources of foreign lands and amass wealth. These plantations heavily relied on forced labor, with enslaved individuals being the backbone of the agricultural operations. Sugar, tobacco, cotton, and various other crops are cultivated on an industrial scale, propelling the economic growth of the colonizers at the expense of human lives. Slavery, a devastating practice rooted in the devaluation of human life, was the most prevalent form of forced labor in colonial plantations. African men, women, and children were violently uprooted from their homes, transported as commodities, and subjected to brutal working conditions. The transatlantic slave trade reached unparalleled levels, with millions of lives unjustly and forcibly displaced. Slaves endured unrelenting labor, physical abuse, and the loss of their dignity and freedom. The treatment of enslaved individuals on colonial plantations was heinous, as they were seen as nothing more than property. Their lives were subject to the whims and fancies of their owners, who wielded absolute power over them. Brutality was rampant, with punishments ranging from physical beatings to even more sadistic methods, such as whipping, branding, and mutilation. These measures were employed as tools of control, intended to crush any resistance and reinforce a system built on fear. The labor demands on colonial plantations were insatiable, with productivity prioritized over the well-being of enslaved individuals. The grueling work hours, often spanning from dawn till dusk, further contributed to the physical and mental degradation of those subjected to forced labor. Malnutrition, disease, and exhaustion were ever-present threats, as workers were pushed to their limits without respite or care. The long-lasting impact of these conditions on the health and longevity of the enslaved cannot be overstated. The psychological trauma inflicted upon those subjected to forced labor in colonial plantations was immeasurable. Stripped of their identities, dignity, and the basic rights afforded to human beings, enslaved individuals lived in a perpetual state of fear, degradation, hopelessness. The constant threat of punishment, separation from loved ones, and the uncertainty of their future haunted them daily. The psychological scars that resulted from such cruelty endured even beyond the abolition of slavery. While the abolition of slavery marked a significant milestone in the fight against forced labor, its legacies continue to ripple through time. The scars of the cruel customs that prevailed in colonial plantations remain ingrained in the collective memory of nations, serving as a reminder of the deep
inequities that shaped our world.
It is crucial to confront this painful history, acknowledge the suffering endured, and work towards a future that upholds dignity, equality, and justice for all.